His losing streak is over. A broken jaw did not stop 32 Chunk from taking home the top prize in the Fat Bear Week.
The winner this year is 32 Chunk.
Despite his broken jaw, he remains one of the biggest and fattest bears at Brooks River, and he used his determination and adaptability.
As you may know, Chunk 32 has officially won Fat Bear Week for 2025. In this video, we will be talking about his role in the ecosystem and how he has won this year's Fat Bear Week. Without further ado, let us begin. Now for some background information, 32 Chunk has entered the 2025 Fat Bear Week competition with a broken jaw, which made people unsure that he would make it as the winning bear. He was also known for killing a baby bear cub in 2024's competition. This cub happened to be 128 Grazer's child. Yeah, things took a pretty dark turn for that year. Nevertheless, he had to do hyperphagia to hibernate over the winter. Hyperphagia is extreme eating during preparation for hibernation. The bar graph shown explains the difference between a bear in hyperphagia and a bear on a normal day. Now that you have information about Chunk 32, we will be showing the first section made by me, Stuba. I will be talking about food web diagrams and predator-prey relationships. Chunk 32 is a dominant bear known for his strength and strategic behavior in securing food. He frequently engages in competition with other bears and has established control over prime fishing locations such as Brook Falls. There, he uses his powerful body to block off fish and expertly catches them by pinning them with his paws or grabbing them with his strong adapted jaws. Chunk 32 eats as much as possible during the salmon run to build up fat reserves, which are essential for surviving the harsh winter months when food is scarce. His consistent access to rich food sources has led to significant increase in his size. In addition to fish, Chunk 32 supplements his diet with various plants, including tall grass, blueberries, elderberries, and other wild berries available in his habitat. The image presented shows how greatly 32 Chunk has bulked up from the beginning of Fat Bear Week to the end. This shows how much his strategies as a predator impacted his weight, thus giving him an advantage over hibernation. This next image shows a food web of 32 Chunk and other organisms. You can see how 32 Chunk eats grass, berry bushes, and salmon to stay bulked up, but he's not the only one that needs energy. Salmon eat zooplankton, while producers such as the grass and berry bush get their energy through photosynthesis, which requires sunlight. Going on to the section made by the introverted fellow Yoiktid, he will be talking about energy pyramids and population analysis.
Hello everybody, I will be talking about the energy pyramid and the population graph for this ecosystem. For almost every energy pyramid, the first step gets energy from the sun. The sun gives the producers 100% of the starting energy. When the small insects eat the green plants, they take all of the energy and use 90% of it to bodily functions, while they keep the other 10% for reserves. This 10% is then passed down to the salmon that eat the small insects, having only 1% of the starting energy. Finally, Chunk 32 eats the salmon and has 0.1% of the starting energy, causing him to eat more fish so he can have enough energy to run around and perform cellular respiration. Moving on to the population graph, we see a lot of wonky lines because I may or may not have messed up on the horizontal lines. At the start of 2020, there were about 1 million salmon and about 2,200 bears. Because their populations were so high, they went above the ecosystem's carrying capacity and had a steep population drop. Carrying capacity is when the population of an animal goes too high and the ecosystem can't support it, causing the population to drop. Since 2022 was a low population year, the bear population was at the perfect amount to reproduce and get their population back up.
Next up is the section made by the one and only crazy man himself, Undying Legacy. He will be talking about limiting factors and competition in biogeochemicals. Alright, hold on. Before I go any further, Undying Legacy did not want to talk during this video, so we're just going to replace him with a AI text-to-speech voice.
Moving on, a quite big limiting factor for 32 Chunk is that in June 2025, Chunk's jaw was broken by another male bear during mating season. A broken jaw is extremely serious, as it is a giant obstacle for him to consume food. The fact that this injury is permanent means that Chunk somehow has to find a way to adjust his way of consuming food, or he might swiftly fall behind the competition. Another limiting factor is that Chunk is an old bear. In 2007, Chunk was 2.5 years old. As of 2025, Chunk is now 20.5 years old. The disadvantage of being old is that Chunk is less suited for competing over food or other various competitive things. More on the topic of 32 Chunk's broken jaw, Chunk had a disadvantage eating salmon compared to the other animals competing for the same food source. Chunk would hastily fall behind the competition and would starve if he did not adapt his way of getting food. Chunk managed to adapt his way of eating, allowing him to dominate the competition and allow him to become the winner of 2025's Fat Bear Week. 32 Chunk affects the biogeochemical cycle of water, also known as the water cycle. 32 Chunk indirectly affects the cycle by producing waste. Once Chunk gets a salmon, he drags it to shore to eat it. Bears only eat the most nutrient-dense parts of salmon. After the bear is finished eating, the salmon gets decomposed and it sends nutrients back to the soil. Plants that are on the shore get these nutrients and prevent erosion, protecting the salmon's habitat. On to Simon's section.
The final section is made by the biggest fumbler of the football team, yours truly, Simon. He will be talking about the carbon cycle and metabolism.
To understand how 32 Chunk is connected to the carbon cycle, we have to know what cellular respiration is and what photosynthesis is. Photosynthesis is when a plant takes in water, carbon dioxide, and solar energy from the sun to produce oxygen and glucose. Cellular respiration is when an organism takes in oxygen to then have said oxygen mixed with food molecules, forming a chemical reaction to produce energy, while also releasing waste products such as carbon dioxide and water. Now that we know what that is, we can figure out the role 32 Chunk has in the carbon cycle. His role is after plants release oxygen from photosynthesis, he will take it in, leading to cellular respiration occurring. As a waste product from cellular respiration, 32 Chunk will release carbon dioxide, therefore leading to the carbon cycle repeating.
That's all we have for you today. Make sure to like, subscribe for more educational content. Bye!